Well, first off, you started up talking about like started up talking to, like you talked about like how you're into painting and like singing and like writing books for one. I would love to start off talking about that. When did you first get started into like writing? Like what got you started, or at least the passion? Good, let's spark a little.
It started when I was about 8. Just getting like creative writing assignments in school just got me like really excited, and it was a really good like outlet for me. So I had a lot of fun with creative writing assignments, and then once I stopped getting creative writing assignments in like middle school, I just started making up stories like on my own just for fun.
Weren't you homeschooled like since you were like 4, or was that or does that kind of go into like your mom picking kids back and forth?
I started homeschooling when I was 14. I was in public school up through ninth grade.
You were a teenager, not a little kid.
Well, I was a oh yeah, I was a teenager when homeschooling started. Yeah.
Last time we talked, you told me you love to sing, which now you're going for college before. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
You also paint and draw. Why did you never tell me about you were writing a book? How come you never told me about that?
I have a lot of bad memories associated with writing. Um, so it's been hard for me to like get back into it, and I'm still not really back in creative writing, and then I'm not sure if I will get there at some point. I just had a really bad experience with writing.
No, I understand. So it's like it's something you're slowly getting back into.
Yeah.
So you created like is it a book, a series? Like you wrote something back, like I can quote it for you. Like it was like quoted as like a heavy-handed cult like allegory.
I wrote a fantasy novel as a teenager, and self-published it, and I intended to at least write a sequel for it, but that didn't happen.
What was the idea?
Let's see. Behind the first book, um, it was this fantasy novel about like shapeshifters living among people, and it was this like medieval-ish setting. And basically, the shapeshifters had been usurped and were trying to take their kingdom back over. And it was an allegory about like being an angel among people and trying to teach people how to live. I think I made about 7,000 on it.
I'm taking that your mom took that, or how like
Yeah.
what was okay. So that was like when you were like a teenager when you first started, or like when was that you said?
Yeah, that was when I was a teenager. I started writing it when I was 14 and then published it when I was 16.
How'd you get to publishing it? Because I assume that's kind of hard when your mom is behind your on your back every single day. You know.
Yeah, I just self-published it through Amazon.
Was that a hard process, or like what was that like?
The publishing process was like pretty easy. You pretty much just pick like the the size you want the book to be. It didn't have a hardcover option; it had to be paperback, and then you just download a template for the size book and format the book to fit the template, and then you can upload your own cover for it, or they can design a cover for you.
Did it take long to like get that all out? Like, did you make money off it, or is it like, or even is it still out there?
Um, I I did pretty good considering it was like my first book and self-published. I sold about 300 copies. It is still on Amazon, but I haven't been like promoting it or anything. I'm trying to let it die, honestly.
Did you try to keep it a secret at the time, or like did you just not care really?
Writing is something that I didn't keep secret because my mom was also a writer.
Mhm.
She self-published, I think, a few books before I was born, and she like really wanted me to be a successful writer so she could kind of like live through me. So she found out that that I was interested in writing and then really pushed it and really wanted me to be a writer. So
Is that?
she would, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that she was really pushing me to like to
Uh,
finish my book and to publish it and to uh, be successful with it.
is that why you like also didn't like share about your singing and all that? Because she might like push you hard on that, and you might lose passion and all that.
Yeah.
Was there any other things like that she found out about that like kind of ended up the same way as like book writing? Because like it seems like you're not really that into it anymore.
Um, I think writing was like the worst thing because she had an interest in writing, and like saw herself in that. Painting, she didn't really take over because she didn't have an interest in painting. Um, let's see, I think the other thing is like dancing. Like I really liked dancing, and I was like trying to keep that a secret from her. And then when she found out, like she was weird about that too, but not weird enough to ruin it for me.
What did she try to take over with dancing?
I remember she was just like trying to like teach me how to dance one day and was like really weird and like adamant that I like had to learn how to dance. And I was
Like
like,
the
I
very
already
second.
yes. And I was like, I already know how to, but I didn't want to tell her that I already knew how to, so I just uh like danced to just show her that it's something I can do, and she was like, "Oh, okay, I guess you already know how." And that was kind of the end of it.
What did how did you teach yourself?
I just watched like a lot of music videos and like tried to like copy like the moves I saw in the music videos. Yeah.
So you kind of just step by step taught yourself in a way.
Yeah.
Did that passion slowly die, or like is it main? Are you mainly like into painting and singing, like we talked about on like the previous interview?
I haven't been doing like much with dance lately. I did take some like modern dance classes in my college courses, and that was fun. I think when I took those classes, that's when I realized I'm not as good as, as I thought because I was seeing how like actual professionals dance. I still do it like just for fun, but I don't know if I'll ever get to a professional level.
Did that push you, or are you just gonna like you want to just keep it fun?
Um, I like I really liked it, and I'd be up for, like, more modern classes, like, in the future. I
Mhm.
honestly just need to, like, work out more first because I also learned I'm kind of out of shape 'cause it's a lot of exercise.
Just one question: am I? Is there's anything like I'm not saying you're like uncomfortable looking or anything. I'm just saying like if there's anything I can do to make this less weird, let me know. I just just look like you're stiff, so I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, I just know we're gonna be getting into, like, the teenage years today, and those are, like, the worst ones, so
No,
I'm just,
I
like,
understand
already
that.
anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make not to like not like going therapist, but you know what I mean, right? I just wanted to check, Yeah. Anyways, but like when kind of talking about like on like the first book you published and like it was like fantasy novel. Did you somehow like it was cult allegory as we talked about and like it did you try to hide did you try to like put yourself in like an OC of yourself in like that book without your mother noticing, or did you just like want to just get it out there?
I pretty much just made the main character myself. I was really just writing from like my own point of view, and
Mhm.
my mom really wanted me to like have a character based on her in it, and was like really pushy about it. So I just like told her one of the characters was based off of her when she kind of wasn't. She was just there.
If anyone does look this up and like finds it, like what are the names of those characters?
The character that was based off of me was the main character named Victoria. And then I told my mom that, the main character's younger sister, Ayana, was based on her.
If you're comfortable with like people actually finding your work out there, where can people read them?
So the book is still for sale up on, Amazon. It's called Beyond the Darkness, and there's a few books with that title, but it's Beyond the Darkness by Samira Bellissimo is the pen name.
Like, why did you choose fantasy? Was it because you were young?
Yeah, I think, because uh because I was young and, I think I just liked, uh, writing in that genre because I didn't have to keep things, like, realistic, I could just make up whatever I wanted to, and I think it was really I think that genre is really freeing to write in.
Would you ever write something like non-allegory? Like I think you may. You also said you wrote a second book sometime later in the later on.
Well, I'm working on a memoir about my childhood, so that one wouldn't be like fantasy or creative writing. It would just be nonfiction. Yeah, that's the one I'm currently working on.
How far into that are you at the current moment?
Like 60 pages. Um, I have like my early childhood down pretty well, but I keep like dragging my feet writing about my teens because they were just really traumatic.
Traumatic.
Yeah.
If it's so traumatic, how come you're writing about it? Do you just want other people to like somehow other person out there like you to at least have some closure? What is it?
Yeah, something that like really inspired me was a another book that's Educated by Tara Westover. She talks about growing up with a parent who is probably bipolar and definitely delusional, and thought that they heard God and like also raised them in this like isolated like
Mhm.
uh, culty way. And it was really helpful for me to read that and to see that like someone else had a similar childhood and made it out of it. That's something that I'd like to do for other people because unfortunately other people grow up this
Yeah.
way. So I'd like to let them know that they're not alone. And then for people who uh, can't relate to that, I just really want to emphasize like the importance of getting mental health treatment because my childhood would have been a lot different if my mom had been in therapy and on meds.
Do you think therapy would have been like the cause of it? Like, yeah, because like not saying like therapy is bad for everyone, but like it doesn't necessarily help all the time.
Yeah. For my mom, I don't think therapy would be that effective because you have to want to change and you have to put in the effort. Um, so I don't think she would be willing to admit that she needs to change. But I think medication like antipsychotics definitely would have been helpful for her.
What is that exactly?
That's to help like get rid of like hallucinations and
Okay.
delusions.
Would you ever consider having kids after everything you've been through? Like, are you worried that you might pass it down or something? You know, like traumaticness.
I'm definitely not planning on having like biological kids. I still like want to be a parent someday, but I want to adopt kids. I don't need to pass these genes down.
Not understandable, yeah. Obviously, you can't control it, but is there like an amount of people you hope to people will find your book and like, are you gonna promote it, or are you just gonna write it and let it out?
For this one, I want to write it and then I want to go through like an actual like traditional publisher, so that way it like, can get like properly
Uh
promoted
huh.
and marketed. Because it's really hard to get a self-published book out there.
Are you working on the final cover at the moment, or is there like is it still in the draft process?
Um, let's see. I've had like a few ideas for the cover for it. Um, yeah, I have one now uh, that I really like that I don't think will end up being the final cover. It's at least just like a concept.
Like, what's the concept?
For for the cover, for now, uh I have like a AI image of like Saint Michael fighting like lizard people, and it cracks me up. I just love it.
Yeah. How long do you think till like it might be at least into like where you're finalizing it?
I really want to have like the first draft done by the end of the year, and then I'm hoping to find a publisher sometime next year. Yeah, I'm thinking like around May.
Your brother, he said this morning he wasn't really up for this, but like, what does he think about all this? Like that, like especially with you being on my show, does he have any opinions on this?
He's okay with it. I think he's pretty encouraging about me like getting the story out and like doing what I need to do to recover from it.
What did you think about the previous interview?
Um, I listened to it again this morning, and I think it was helpful for me to talk things out, but it was also just like surprising like how many things I like didn't get to, and it just kind of hit me like just how many layers there are to this and just like how much trauma there was. And I was like, oh, I didn't even mention like this big thing and this big thing.
Is there anything like you would like me to add to this? Because like you said, we have hours, so I didn't know.
One thing I forgot to mention was that like I talked about how I was Saint Michael, but I didn't mention that she was Athena.
What do you mean by that? Like I know Athena, obviously, but what do you mean by that?
Yeah, she thought she was literally the incarnation of the Greek goddess Athena.
Okay, so how are they related? Like, are they biblically related?
No, they're two completely different mythologies.
I was gonna say maybe if I could somehow see like if they like Athena was like giving, but like I can't, I don't. Then again, I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. But like it was, I don't, I you lost me there, honestly. I don't know. Sorry. If you want to like talk on that, we can. I just don't really have any.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
There's
just
just a lot of
weird.
stuff you missed.
Yeah.
If there's anything you want to bring up, and just bring it up. I'm down for that.
Okay.
With your brother, do you have any family members or like anybody really that you like are open to talking about this stuff with, like your books, your singing, dance, pretty much just your hobbies?
Um. Let's see. I have my brother. I still haven't met my aunt in person, as I didn't meet like any relatives growing up. I've just talked to my aunt like a few times over the phone, and I've been comfortable like sharing things with her. I just still don't know her that well.
Are they like normal per se?
Yeah.
Are you worried about like because people can be haters out there, especially with the way you grew up and like just the way you seem like you at least have it decent now. But I like again, I don't really know you personally, so like, are you worried about like if you got it out there, be haters or like people online saying like you're faking or you know what I mean?
I don't really care. I've just been through like so much already that like I feel like I can't really go through anything worse. Um I am like really sensitive and can like get my feelings hurt pretty easily. So like I already just like don't look at comments or anything when I post a video, so I'll probably just keep not reading comments.
I noticed that you were like you haven't really posted in, like maybe a couple of months, maybe a year at the most.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get back at that, or are you just doing it to like watch other videos?
Actually, yeah. One reason why I haven't posted in a while is because like I don't have like the setup that I used to, but I actually like just got a new setup like a few days ago.
Are you gonna make a separate one to promote your book?
Been debating. I think I might just promote both on the same channels. Because I think if I like already start growing an audience on the singing channels, I can just let them know, like, hey, if you want to know more about me, I'd have this book out.
This is most likely a stupid question because like we talked like maybe a month, 2 months ago, whatever it really was. Like for at least us, back in part one of this interview, we like talked on like how your mom, your mom and your brother were all homeless together. We're scared that like something bad was going to happen to you and your brother, like your family finances because she stole a bunch of money from you, your safety, just anything like that.
The finances were scary because we did end up homeless as kids because she left her no wait she got fired from her job at 1st and then God told her that she didn't need to get another job, and then she couldn't afford the rent, and then we got kicked out. We were just kind of bouncing around from like random people's houses for like 6 months. So that was a really stressful time. I think I was 10 and my brother was 8.
Back when when I messaged you about this, you told me something a little different. Like, you, if I quote you said was, "I was about 15 and stayed unemployed for 4 years," and that would mean like you were pretty much an adult, like 19 when you left?
Well, when we were homeless, that was when I was 10. That was, the first time God told my mom to not get a job, and then the second time God told her to not get a job, she was laid off from her job when I was 15, and then we weren't homeless that time. She had her 401k, and she was able to cash that out when she got laid off, so we just lived off of her 401k for a little while, and then I published my book at 16 and was selling my book after that. And then my brother got a job as a busboy while he was still in high school. Pretty much ran out of money. Like the 401k ran out when I was about 18. And then I got a job as a server. And then I got my mom a job as a server at the same restaurant. And then when she realized that we couldn't live off of two server and a busboy's paycheck, that's when God told her she could get another engineering job. And she got one pretty quickly.
Was it just a job that kept you surviving, or like, were you living on the streets?
We were still like living in her house when I was a teenager. Yeah, she was also just like really irresponsible with money, so that was really frustrating. Like she would tell us that like she can't pay the mortgage and she needs our paychecks. So we would like give her all the money that we made and then she would just blow hundreds of dollars on something stupid.
Was
um
she was she like a child doing it, or like did she like did she just gamble it away?
no, she wasn't gambling. She would buy like hundreds of dollars worth of like makeup and uh like lotion. She would get just like really expensive like skincare treatments. And this one ridiculous time, she wanted to get into candle making and she bought hundreds of dollars worth of candle making equipment when she had been crying to us about how she couldn't pay the mortgage. I think it was whenever she was like manic, she would just kind of have like manic shopping sprees and just buy whatever she wanted with very little impulse control.
Your mom was originally a NASA scientist, am I correct?
Mhm.
Well, let's talk about that just a little bit. Like, so when she had the job doing that, like, what was the cutoff point?
When she first worked at NASA, that was before I was born. When she was still a college student, she was doing like basically an internship with NASA.
So she started off as an internship, and she got fired. She went back and like actually got a job there when you were 10.
Yeah.
She got fired, like you said. What was the cutoff point?
When I was 15, she was working on the space shuttle program, and she I think had the opportunity to switch over to work on the space station program. But she was really determined to work for the shuttle program until the very end.
Why was she determined?
She, I think, just really loved uh, space shuttles, and seeing like space shuttle launches is what um, inspired her to work for NASA in the first place. It would have been helpful if she had just transferred to the station program.
What was different about the station program and the NASA station?
The space station program was continuing after the shuttle program, so she wouldn't have gotten laid off if she had switched to that.
Wasn't there something about like Nazi that she didn't want to get involved with?
After she got laid off, she got really into conspiracy theories and didn't want to work for the government. And she thought that if she had a job as an engineer, that she would basically be forced to work as like a Nazi scientist. She thought that in like 2012 that there was going to be a huge like revolution. She thought that like lizard people were like running the government and that they would start like imprisoning and like enslaving people and basically putting people into like concentration camps. Like she thought it was pretty much just going to turn into like Nazi Germany.
So
Um,
World War II all over again, basically, but worse.
yeah,
Is she still alive today?
yeah.
Is she still into that, or is she getting help?
No, she's not getting help. She's just like moved on to different delusions, I think. She kind of just has this cycle where she like wholeheartedly believes that this big thing is going to happen, and when it doesn't happen, she just moves on to the next illusion and like doesn't even acknowledge the first one. So I don't know if she like still believes everything she did when I was a teenager, but she's definitely still delusional.
I'm not expecting you to talk to her recently or anything, but like, what were some of them recently?
Um Apparently, her latest thing has been interdimensional beings and finding them and communicating with them. Uh,
Like
y-
aliens?
yeah, she's apparently she's been trying to communicate with the ghosts of aliens. Um,
Like ghosts have aliens have ghosts?
apparently,
Like I was thinking multiverse when you said that, but then but like does she believe in like that kind of stuff as well?
no, actually, she was pretty like adamant against like parallel universes.
Well, that's weird because I feel like the one thing that would be realistic somehow. Was it your brother? Or how did you find this information out?
Yeah, my brother still talks to her.
How's their relationship?
I think it's really strained. They tend to like go through this cycle where my brother will think that she's like getting help and getting better, and she'll like say that she's in therapy and say that she's working on herself, and he'll like have hope that she'll actually change, and then she'll just like yell at him or just do something terrible, and he'll realize that she's still the same, and they just kind of go back and forth like that.
So it's basically, are they just strangers?
I mean, she never really like got to know us, so I don't think that she like actually cares about him or actually knows him. She seems to just still be like trying to use him and trying to control him.
If you like had to like, let's say like, because especially with like economics these days, like, do you think you would like, if you had to be put into that situation? Do you think you could survive being homeless?
I actually sort of did. It was a few years ago. My rent increased at the same time that my pay decreased. And I was like able to like kind of barely scrape by for a few months. But then there was one month where I just couldn't make rent and got evicted and stayed with a friend for a while.
How old were you at the point?
Um, how old was I? That was like recently. It was like 26, I think.
26. How old are you currently, if you don't mind?
28.
So like barely 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But like with the way, especially with like the way like the news is and like tariffs or whatever, you know what I mean. Like if it had to, like, do you think you had the muscle memory to like you think at least survive?
I mean, I would hate to because I'd like just got myself out of that. But I mean, I've already been through it, so I already know that like I could if I had to.
If you had to currently, like, what's your plan if you had to like come up with something?
I'd probably just do what I did last time, just stay with a friend and find a new place.
So, like, what do you think about like the thoughts on like people will say like people should get a job, people are just lazy. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think people tend to assume that like that other people have the same like physical and mental capacity that they do. And I think they don't really realize that there's some people with like really debilitating like physical and mental illnesses that they can't afford treatment for, and that makes staying employed very difficult. Like I volunteered with a soup kitchen for a little while, and I'd say most of the people there were disabled veterans um, who just weren't getting their benefits because the VA just hadn't processed their paperwork, and they physically couldn't work jobs because they had leg injuries or hip injuries or back injuries or they had severe PTSD.
I'm curious on one thing. If you stayed in like there's like let's say you never got out, like you stayed with your mom, do you think your life would have been completely different?
I would be completely miserable. I think my mom would still be very controlling and restrict like my access to like mental health care. So I don't think I would be able to get like the therapy and the meds that I need. So life would be very difficult.
Before the meeting with us, there was something involving that your family pets that you seemed like you were really annoyed or at least angry about. Like, what was that? It was something about a dog fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Um So the dog fights were, I think, one of the worst things that my mom ever did. Um, she's uh what's called a communal narcissist. So she likes to volunteer and like get her picture taken of her like volunteering and then like post it all over Facebook and brag about how, oh, she's just like such a caring, loving person. She's like doing all this work to help her community. Um, and one thing that she really liked to do was rescue animals. So she would like take in animals and like take her picture and post it on Facebook and talk about how, oh, I'm saving this dog, I'm saving this cat, but then she would leave me to do all the actual work. So she would just bring home animals and just expect me to just take care of them and feed them and bathe them and walk them and train them and everything. And at one point we had 3 dogs that were ours, and then we had 5 foster puppies. And the puppies we got when they were just like a few days old. And I actually bottle raised the puppies 2 hours apart every day. I was bottle feeding the puppies, and I was giving them baths and cleaning out their pen. And I was like really close to them because they were just these wonderful, sweet little puppies. And then the puppies got older, and we had them like separated from the older dogs at first, and then once the puppies were older, we let them start spending time with the older dogs, and they got along okay at first. But then there was an incident where our oldest dog had some food aggression, and she was eating, and one of the puppies came over to her bowl, and the older dog growled at the puppy, but then the puppy bit her, and then all of the puppies piled onto her and started biting her. And the puppies were just like really like just like digging into her, and she was like shrieking. Because some of the puppies like went like for her throat, and some of them were on her ears. So I managed to like pull all of them off of her, and then like put all the puppies outside and like take care of our older dog. Um, And then my mom got home from work and I was crying, and I like told her what happened, that all the puppies had attacked our older dog. And my mom didn't seem to believe me. She either like didn't think it happened or just didn't think it was as bad as I said it was. Um, so I made sure that whenever I was home, that I kept them separate, and we had like baby gates up. And I made sure that the puppies like stayed in one area and that the older dogs stayed in another. Because the puppies didn't fight with each other and the older dogs didn't fight with each other. It was just when the puppies and the older dogs were together. So I made it like very clear to my mom that we had to keep them separated. But she would always say, "Oh, well, they're friends and they want to play," and then she would open the baby gate and let the puppies in with the older dogs, and then the puppies would try to kill the older dogs and would latch onto their throats and literally try to rip out the throat of our oldest dog. And every time I was the one who would pull the puppies off and would get bitten in the process. And I still have scars on my hands from getting bitten by the puppies trying to save the dog I grew up with. Um, and my mom would act like completely surprised every time a fight happened, even though every time they were in a room together, they would fight. Um, so it got to the point where I was like afraid to fall asleep because I knew if I was awake, I could like um, keep the baby gate closed and make sure my mom didn't open it. And she would like wait until I fell asleep and then would open the baby gate, and then I would be woken up by the sounds of my puppies trying to kill my childhood dog. Um, and it was just really really stressful. Um, and I just I can't wrap my head around that one because there was absolutely no reason for it. Like all she had to do was keep a baby gate closed, and it really felt like because I was telling her no, she just wanted to prove that I couldn't tell her what to do. The fights went on for years. Um, it was just it was about 3 years of her just like opening the baby gate whenever she could and just letting the dogs attack each other and me breaking up the fights and her just acting surprised every time. Um, and at one point, she started blaming me. I would break up fights, and then after, she would yell at me for causing the fights. Um, and then when I don't know, whenever that stopped working for her, um, then she decided that the dog that was causing the fights, one of our older dogs who was a dachshund mix, she blamed the fights on the dachshund mix and had that dog put down and just straight up lied to the vet and told the vet that he was being aggressive and that he was biting people when he wasn't. It had him put down, and the vet was even upset and crying because she hates putting down dogs for behavioral reasons. And my mom even just lied about the behavioral reasons and killed our dog.
Did you just do it because your mom told you, or were you originally a dog person in the start at least?
I was genuinely a dog person. Like I still am. I was scared of dogs for a while after the fights, which was so upsetting to like lose that.
Kind of like when you were saying like they didn't want to. Your mom did it anyways, pretty much. To the extent because like you said, oh, you shouldn't do that. Is it basically like? Would you say it's like reverse child parent thing, where like instead of the child or doing something because the parent said not to, it's the mom doing it, pretty much. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. The roles like were reversed a lot with her. She would act like she was the child and I was the parent. But then she would switch those roles again whenever it just suited her. Um, and I hardly ever stood up to her because I was scared of her. Um, but the dog fights were the one thing that I was like really adamant about. And we had this one fight. I told her she absolutely could not open the baby gate. She could not let the dogs together. That the dogs were going to fight if they were together, and she had to stop doing this. And she yelled at me and said that I'm spoiled, and she said she treats me like the crowned prince was her wording, and basically told me that like I get to do whatever I want and she doesn't like force rules on me that other parents enforce, and that I don't have the right to tell her what to do, and how dare I act um, like I can tell her what to do and she's going to keep doing whatever she wants.
Was there an example of what kind of rules?
Yeah, she said I was spoiled because I was homeschooled.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, then I'm really spoiled. uh, if you don't mind, can I see the scars? I was just curious if they were like, are they just little scars, or how bad are they?
Yeah. Let's see. I have one that really hurt. I don't know if it'll show up on my camera. There's one
I can
like
see
on my
on your
knuckle here.
knuckle. I can see a
Yeah.
little bit. It looks red.
Yeah. Yeah, the one on my knuckle really hurt. I think that one actually like hit a bone. Let's see, there was another one like on one of my ring fingers. My ring might be covering it. I think it is. Yeah, I think my ring is covering this one. There's like a little one. on the bottom of my ring finger.
Yeah, I can't see that really. They weren't damaging really, they were just scratches.
um, well, they um, the dog bites are how I learned that dogs have something in their saliva that attacks your nervous system. So after I would get bitten, my hands would just start like shaking uncontrollably. Um, and it turns out that that's part of just the thing in dog saliva. I don't remember what it's called that attacks the nervous system. So it was very painful every time.
I apologize, maybe I asked, sorry, but did your mom like just adopt them for popularity pretty much?
I think it was like it might have been kind of like the like impulse shopping when she was manic. I think she would just like see a cute dog and think, "Oh, I want that dog," and not think about like the responsibility that comes with the dog or like think about how many dogs she already has at home. I think it was just kind of like impulse shopping as far as the dogs she would keep. And then the dogs she would like rescue and foster, I think was just for her image.
How come these are such traumatic points in your life?
The dog fights were very traumatic because I was out of school and home all day, and I was just really isolated from other people. And I really loved my dogs and really bonded with them. So uh, I just like really loved them. And then for her to like just constantly put them in danger and risk their lives um, was just it was just awful.
I have this thing where you get 15 seconds to share a social something of yours. Just you understand what I'm saying, pretty much.
You can find me at Emo Soprano on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
No, I'm actually not. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. What's up, guys? It's me, Ronick, your boy, Ronick. What's up, boys and girls and feminists? Oh my. What up, guys? Thank you guys for checking us out. They said their socials in the end of this, so if you want to check this out, they're all down in the description down below. But if you I know I watch this ugly mug. This ugly mug is horrible. Look, I agree. Ugh. Anyways, if you don't want to see me, or at least just want to hear the show, like while you're at work, you're driving, yada yada, I have Spotify. Check out my Spotify, and all of my episodes are almost every time upload. So check that out. I hope you can. I hope you can give some support. If you're new or you're trying to or you really just haven't done it yet, I'm trying to get the musician Woolwood on. The agent said they can get him on, or at least there's a really good possibility of at least inviting him on. So please get me to 1,000 subscribers. I would love to have him on. Give me a wish, sunshine. I don't know what I'm just said there, but do it anyways. Anyways, have a good day. See you next Wednesday, and I don't know, don't do drugs, or at least do the good kind. I can't tell you what to do. Peace, bitches. I'm out.